It's part 2 of the solid gold Xbox controller odyssey, and by the end of this video, we are planning to be done, but we definitely have some problems to solve. Not with this piece, mind you, but with some of the other ones. The shoulder buttons, for example, used to have plastic linking them, so now there's no give. Are they gonna press properly? We don't think so, so we need to figure that out. The battery cover, well, it used to have plastic clips that fit in a thing, and now it doesn't go in either. So we're gonna have to solve that problem too. Furthermore, the entire fit and finish of this thing, I mean, obviously, we can't just screw it together the way we used to. How do we join it? We're thinking laser welding, but I mean, is it gonna fit together okay? Ridge Wallet wants to redefine the wallet with its compact frame and RFID blocking plates. Check out how they can help keep your wallet bulge down and use offer code Linus to get 10% off and free shipping worldwide. Whoa, we got a wardrobe change here. Where'd I get this cool foil controller shirt? Obviously, lttstore.com. The first processing step is using a tungsten carbide burr to quickly turn the sprues into expensive glitter. Well, very, very expensive glitter. Now, under normal circumstances, Expert Castings wouldn't offer any kind of compensation for this material being removed onto the floor, which made me very uncomfortable about how much money I was going to be losing throughout the grinding and finishing work. Thankfully, we worked out something where we were gonna weigh the finished piece and then go based on that for pricing. Whew. Before we can do any of that though, we discovered some small holes in the gold controller which need to be filled. And honestly, I'm kinda glad they're there because getting to see this process was super cool. Freaking lasers, baby. This is the Rofin Starweld DX, and at first I assumed that it was just kind of like a fancy way to solder or something like that. But no, this thing is capable of shooting up to an 8 kilowatt laser pulse that will instantly melt the metal that it strikes. So basically, you line up this filler wire and your part with the crosshair in the microscope, put the pedal to the metal, and bam, you're welding. Mechanically, it's quite similar to arc welding, even using an argon assist gas, but instead of using electricity to melt the metal, you're using coherent light. With the holes filled, it was time to decide on a texture for our finished surface. Now, one of the best things about the new generation Xbox controllers is just how grippy they are. And although the casting was able to retain a shocking amount of that fine detail, well, we've got a couple of problems. First of all, the surface is going to have to end up smooth wherever the sprues were attached. And it's unlikely that our factory texture would have survived the polishing that was required to get a shiny finish anyway. So we decided to go with a custom texture. The Goldsmith Hendry here showed us 2 test textures on the inside of the battery cover and let us pick. One of them he described as snake lightning, and the other is more like a hammered or golf ball finish. Now, we assumed that these were finishes that he applies regularly, but it turns out that this process is actually more art than science. Apparently, he just kind of looks at the surface of whatever came out of the casting and does what feels right. Anyway, the snakes spoke to me, so that's the texture that we're going to end up using. For the entire piece to look cohesive though, a little bit of planning is required. In this case, laying out the rough lines to follow using a Sharpie. And I know they do this every day and I trust their workmanship, but I still really struggled watching the first few marker lines and bits of grinding because to my untrained eye, it kind of felt like halfway through a Bob Ross tutorial where the canvas still looks like a blob of happy green and brown accidents. Full credit though, once it's done, it looks so good. Oh my God, that looks so awesome. Oh man, we had some concerns about the shoulder buttons because we thought this piece in the middle would have to flex because it normally would be made of plastic, but they actually work fine. They're awesome. Nah, it'll be fine. Don't you stress, Alex. As cool as Snake Lightning looks though, it's more of an accent finish than what we want everywhere. For the top, we want that classic smooth bling-tastic mirror finish. And achieving this is no mean feat, given how many imperfections are left behind by the casting process. So in order to get there, we start with what's called a porosity hammer. See that? It spins. So what it's doing then is many times a second, it's hitting or hammering the higher parts of the material and then spreading them into the lower parts, creating an almost perfectly flat surface. Now, because our part was so big, Hendry actually had to put aside some of the porosity hammers that he's already created for himself and make a custom one out of this screw. He told us this wasn't cool. And I was like, you make your own rotary tools? What do you mean that's not cool? Of course, that's not enough to get the mirror shine, so we also need some love from the polishing wheel brothers over here. So it was porosity hammer, polishing wheels, porosity hammer, polishing wheels, rinse and repeat for, about a day and a half due to the size of the part.
One thing you might have picked up on at this point is that, you know, the outside of this Xbox controller and all of the parts are made out of plastic, which is not electrically conductive, whereas the gold one is pretty much as electrically conductive as possible. So we need to make sure that we won't have any shorts or anything. So I'm gonna come in here with the good old acrylic conformal coating and just give her a blast. Now we just do that like 4 or 5 more times. Another problem that I noticed is that the battery connectors come up like this, and if it's touching the gold, again, you're gonna have short problems, and I think even conformal coating it won't do us enough good. Now, one big plus is that I ordered a rechargeable battery, and that one, you don't have to do this end, which is much harder to deal with. We only need the 2 contact points. So I think as long as we do the conformal coating, and then we just add in some electrical tape on the side, inside here, we should be fine.
Final assembly time. Now that I've got the trigger buttons on, the plan was actually just to test fit these pieces and this one, but this piece is so finicky to get on and off that, I'm sorry guys, we're not gonna see that process on video because we don't wanna do any more damage to these little plastic nubbins here. The thing is, when you're putting plastic on plastic, there's a lot of give. You can kind of slide things over each other and they don't destroy each other. With metal, there's no such give, so there's a strong risk of just breaking things off. So we're gonna leave it the way that it is. Another concern that we had was fatigue failure. So gold is particularly prone to this. You do the same thing with it over and over and over again, and like these micro cracks form until finally just it comes apart. But looking at how little flex, honestly, Alex, I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And the buttons feel surprisingly good. Like, we had concerns about these springs being strong enough because it weighs so much more. Kind of like on a gaming keyboard, right? If you put a metal key on top of a Cherry MX switch, it dramatically changes the actuation force. Here, feels great. Listen to that clack though. Now comes the most fragile piece. Basically, they told me, as soon as you touch this, it no longer has a perfect finish anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, no pressure or anything. Just put my gloves on. Really, there's nothing that makes me feel more inadequate than a one-size-fits-all glove. Oh, come on, baby, you can go on there. Okay, all right. Let's get it assembled. Okay, now these screws were originally meant to go into plastic. Last thing we want to do is like over torque it here. All buttons work on the top of it. Let's try the face. Everything's good. This is very promising. Okay, this one is gonna be tricky because you got these little nubbin things here. And again, remember, plastic on plastic, flexible. Metal on plastic, not flexible. Metal on metal, super not flexible. Kinda need it to, whoop. So you got these pieces that go in over here. Never given this much thought to it. Wow, does it get, it just went right on. Were you expecting that?
Yep.
Oh.
I made it so it would slip on and off.
Oh, okay. Last piece, bottom cover. This one's a little trickier because remember, this is the part that got a little mangled when there wasn't enough gold in the mold. Oh. That's, okay, Alex, do you have gloves? Okay, get some gloves. It's so heavy.
Oh, wow. I knew it would be heavy, but it's so heavy. Holy
I know,
crap.
right? Even holding the individual pieces of it is like, yo, this thing's pretty heavy.
And the clap.
The clack.
So good.
I know, right? As brutal and painful as this is, guys, we're gonna do the glam montage now, okay, before we mess it up. But the actual experience of trying it, we're gonna get everyone in the office to try it out. We're gonna make a video with everyone experiencing it. That is going to be a part 3 video because I just gotta be honest with you guys. Like, this was very expensive to make and I gotta milk this. Milk it with sponsors like Backblaze. Backblaze is a cloud storage solution that's easy and affordable, starting at just $6 a month. You can back up your personal and or business data, and you can even use it as a B2 storage solution. They've restored over 50 billion files for their clients, and they've got over an exabyte of data stored. You can restore your files anywhere with their mobile apps, or if you've got something pretty heavy to restore, you can actually do a restore via hard drive. So they will FedEx you a hard drive with your data, you copy it onto your new data storage solution, whether it's a NAS or external hard drive or whatever the case may be, and then you mail the drive back to them for a refund. Super simple. So why wait? Get unlimited data backup at a fixed price, and you can try it out for free at backblaze.com/LTT. So give it a try and start protecting yourself from bad times. If you guys enjoyed this video and you love crazy projects, you can go check out part 1. We're gonna have that link down below. Or you can check out our water-cooled PlayStation project. Or, I don't know, water-cooled camera. We've got lots of crazy projects we've done over the years. This might just take the gold medal though. Hey, got him.